All right, calling to order the Fire Station Building Committee meeting of Tuesday, November 26th. It is 4:30 p.m. This meeting is being recorded and will be played back at a later date. Roll call, please.
Joe Ulick,
Present.
Mike Julian,
Present.
Mike Langevin,
Present.
Dave Langevin,
Present.
Jeff Matthews,
Present.
John Chugda here. We have a quorum.
Okay. The approval of minutes states July 17th. That was an error on my part. The last meeting that we had was actually August 21st. And just discussing with John before the start of the meeting, he does have those minutes, but they did not get distributed to everyone. So we'll have to, is there a motion to move the minutes to the next meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Roll call, please.
Joe Ulick,
Yes.
Mike Julian,
Hold on. Yes.
Mike Langevin,
Yes.
Dave Langevin,
Yes.
Jeff Matthews.
Yes.
Yes, motion passes.
Okay. Item 3, review of approval of any action for the development of the project to include but not limited to discuss the tentative December 2nd, 2024 presentation to Town Council. So the last time we met was in person at the Town Hall back in August. We were hoping at that point to, in a couple of weeks, make that presentation, and everybody had a plan to move forward with this so that we could get everything out to bid and rolling. Unfortunately, that is not what's happened, and obviously we've gone a couple of months. There has been a lot of discussion about what information we would be presenting to council, and now that we have the tentative date of the 2nd, we wanted to bring some of that information to you. Yesterday, I sent out an email that had a budget recap that showed some of the escalations that we've faced since the beginning of the project. Since the approval of the debt exclusion. And then there's also an updated budget. About 2 o'clock, somewhere around there, I sent out another email that was brushed up that had some additional things that were discussed on there. And then I also can show a quick presentation of the stuff that we have as far as the walkthrough video and just some still photos that we can show. So what the council had asked for, or the chairman had asked for, is obviously to bring up to date of where things are with the project. There were some comments about the fact that they had not seen any images of the project or anything. So I had Jennifer put together some slides that are pretty much the ones that are on the website that have been there for some time. And then we also wanted to do, obviously, the IR presentation is a huge, very large file and can take up a lot of space. So we wanted to hit into the key points of, obviously, the center of this is firefighters coming back from a fire dirty and walking out clean on the other side. So the quick walk through the VR is from the bay floors going in through the decon area and then kind of ending in a bedroom. Everything else is the pictures of things that we've had to the point. So the touch-ups on budgeting and the information that we're presenting at this point, everybody did some pretty hard digging as far as what actually has been faced historically, as well as what we have faced since the project was approved. What it comes down to is it's nearly 40% of escalation since the project was approved. That document, the budget recap that you have from 2020, there was a 2% escalation. 2021, and keep in mind that historically, I'm told that it's about a 5% construction escalation. So 2021 was 11.5%, 22 was 14.5%, 23 was back down around normal at 4.9, 24 was 5%, and to get us to June of this coming year, is another 1.5%. So quick adding, it's 39 and change, so almost 40%. So more than a third has been added to the project cost since we started with this. Obviously, we've gotten some money from the federal government. We've gotten very little money from the state. That's hopefully going to change a little bit anyway. But we have just been chasing the tail of escalation each time. Each time we've thought we've had enough, it's gone up and out of reach again. So the new budget document shows the escalations. I had conversations with Michael, Rick, and Jennifer to say I want everything on the table. If there is anything that could be a possible increased number, I want to know about it when we make this presentation. I don't want there to be anything afterwards. Oh, well, we didn't think of this. Oh, we didn't remember that was going to be an issue. So there are some things that, there is some discussion about. I will be upfront with you about that. One of the things that we did talk about was billing rates of both the architect and the project manager. Obviously, things have, their market has changed in the last 5 years. And I laid it out with them. I've said, I have not read through their contracts recently. And obviously, what it says or doesn't say in there about, adjusting rates for the future. But I wanted it included in this number so that there's nothing hiding, in a dark closet for the future. So there is adjustments on there for that. Whether or not those come to fruition, that's, a topic for another day. But we needed to know what a number would be so that there was no question at the end of the day that if the council is going to make a move for this and make the project move forward, that we had a solid number to work with. So all these numbers on the final column of the budget add up to 32,933,503. Obviously, we started, back in actually November of 19 with a number of 25,700,000. And with a larger building, with an outbuilding, all those things that have since disappeared. So obviously we've had over 2,000 square feet just since that design reduced. We've had the value engineering, and we've removed the outbuilding to get us to where we are now. I looked just before starting the meeting. We have spent $4,957,002.13 to date. So looking at that, so we've we'll call it rough numbers of 33 million, and we had 25.7, and we've essentially spent 5, so we have 20.7, and we've gotten 1.9 from the feds, so 22.6. Is where we are now, and it comes out to essentially 7 million is what we're talking about. In the end, what that accounts for is essentially the million in free cash that was already set aside, and then the town manager, if he wants to chime in, is what the suggestion would be as a plan for moving forward. Mr. Manager, are you there?
Yes, I am. So I'm just trying to follow all the numbers. You're not still looking for 7 million, right? What's the
No.
bottom line?
So the 1.9 comes out of that. So essentially it comes down to right now we're about 5 million short. So as kind of the discussion of $1 million in free cash that's already there, the borrowing possibility, and then potential of an additional free cash once it's certified.
Yeah, so I had a meeting today with Michelle and Dean, because Dean's back this week. We had a conversation about that. She's working with bond counsel right now, looking at a couple scenarios as to borrowing. I might have to tweak the number that I gave her, because I think we were looking originally at 3 million of borrowing possibly, but we'll have to double check that. And looking at how some debts fallen off. So we don't have all those numbers yet. They're working with bond counsel. So that was information she reviewed today. She's looking at over a certain period of time, if we were to bond this borrowing of the additional funds, where would it fall to keep the debt schedule level? So that is being worked on right now with bond counsel. So Dean and I had the conversation about at this point, it's pulling the trigger on this project and educating the counselors. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do it December 2nd because we're still waiting on the bond counsel, and this is all fresh information. She has a follow-up call with bond counsel to verify those numbers on that schedule that would go out to, I think, 2050. It would be a 30-year bond. So they're working on all those because we do have a lot of debt that's fallen off in about 10 years, I think, or 7 years. So it'll be how we can maximize it. So there is really no impact to the taxes, but it's a level fund. So that is being aggressively worked on with Dean and her. And hopefully we should have a healthy free cash this year and possibly next. So it's a combination of those factors. So I would say within the next week or so, we should have better numbers as to the bond and the presentation to council. Again, I apologize, Dean has been out, but he is the guy that has the plan on how to present this to council. So I think we will have a plan to bring to them, and the question will be from them is not if or when, and there's no more delays. It's we have to pull the trigger. So I'm looking at having these numbers. Well, the rest of the week is a holiday, so early next week we'll be working to get those verified. So that's all I have right at the moment, unfortunately.
All right, so what would be our next opportunity to be in front of council?
I would say December 16th.
Okay, because we essentially, I don't know, it was either was Jennifer that you had the date. It was a date in January that we had to have a hard decision made to pull the trigger to make the timing, because where we stand as far as timing is concerned is the state did officially push out the 9th edition building code through June 30th. So we have that. But in order to make all of this work, and if it was the council's choice for this to go to the public, that all of those things have to happen in place, because this would be a decision or it would have to be packaged for a bid to state that in those circumstances that it would be pending town approval, pending public approval of a vote, if that was the way this was going to go down. So we have a very tight timeline that the clock is ticking on.
Well, I can't do it December 2nd because the meeting's already been posted because it's a holiday. And again, those numbers just were as of 10 o'clock this morning. We are trying to get the tax rate set. So I don't recommend to the Fire Station Building Committee to go on the same night that we're doing a tax classification on December 9th. I don't think that's a wise idea. If you want me to do that, I will, but I don't think that's wise. I think December 16th is the next available date to do that at council. And that would give us an opportunity to get all those numbers together and come up with not a half-baked plan, but a solid financial plan based on the numbers that we have.
Anybody have any questions for the manager? No? Okay.
I think Dave Benjamin does. I saw his hand, I think.
No, I agree with the town manager totally. Yeah, we definitely don't want to do it when you're trying to set the tax rate. So I mean, the next available meeting, like you said, the 16th would be definitely the right way to go to move forward, and not a wishy-washy, like I said, solid plan. And because we can all see it's no hidden secret, everything is just going up, man. We gotta do it.
Right, and this is great information that you gave us today. So that's the information that we'll go with, and that's building the plan and the presentation and how we want to lay out a presentation to council. yeah, that's they have been working on these bond numbers to get us in the best position. That opportunity to bond, we're in a good position to do that according to our the person that works with the town on the bonds. So that's why they're trying to package everything together. Because we do have to do some short-term borrowing too for a road project. So they're looking to maximize what we can with no impact to the overall town budget. So that's the reason why the planning process is important with that bond council, to keep it level so that there's minimal impact to the taxpayer in regards to any additional borrowing outside of a 2.5 override. And that's what we have to be able to present to council if this is the road we're going to go. Because going to the ballot box is not going to work, and I don't think that's an option to go to the ballot box.
You got that right.
No.
All right. Michael, I see you had a question.
Yes, I agree with everything that was said. We can't go back to the ballot box. I like that you're gonna come up with a solid plan to present. I do have a question. You know how we went out for a preliminary something? Would we have to go back out for those preliminaries, or how good are they too? Anyone? Rick?
Rick, do you want to answer that?
I think what you're probably talking about is the pre-qualification, Michael.
Yes, yes.
I did canvass the Attorney General's office last week to see if we would be allowed to utilize the information that we canvassed in the fall of this year. And she had advised that we could use that material. But before we were to post for bidding, we would have to do an updated construction estimate. But we do not have to solicit proposals or qualifications from contractors. We can move forward with the information we have.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Any other questions at the moment? Chief, did you have one? Were you raising your hand or were you doing something? Okay. All right, so if I can figure out how to share my screen here, I'll show the slides that we have prepped for this. Can everybody see it?
Yep.
All right, so it's pretty quick. The files are large, so we just wanted to give the presentation of kind of the Bay Area and then walking through decon.
Hopefully I won't get sick in this 3D image.
No, it's slow enough. All right, so that was the quick walkthrough, and I appreciate everything that KBA has done to get that up. And then
Joe, are you planning on narrating that as you go through, just saying the spaces you're going through?
yes, yeah, obviously everybody here knows what it is. So, all right, so these are just the slides. And these have been on the website for a time.
Joe, do you want us all there that day, the 16th?
If that's the date that it's going to be, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're advancing through them, but we're not seeing. There you go. Now,
Oh.
now we're seeing something.
Yeah.
Oh, did you didn't see them?
No, we
No,
just saw. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll do
sorry,
them
the
one at a
first one
time.
we saw for a while. I don't know that the images are new to most people. I don't
Okay.
know.
Can you see the parking lot now?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Side and the training tower. Bays. I don't know why it didn't show before. So the discussion we had at that is that the town council chairman just wanted a quick update from us as where things are, wanted to see some of it, but essentially they are more interested in what the town's plan is to finance it. So at this point, are there any questions about where we are or what we need to present? Okay,
What's the final number, Joe? Then
right now is 32,933,503, and that's escalated through the bidding, which would be in May, the close of bidding.
Hey, Joe,
Yes.
just again, a question, and I'm sure you are prepared when you give the presentation to the council and stuff like that. Of course, we all heard the good old rumorvilles from some of the councilors and stuff like that, trying to build a Taj Mahal and, let's build, for the bays like a Quonset hut and all those, let's get rid of the tower, try to, all these
We
shit
have
that's real. That's real.
Yeah.
So my theory is, and I think we have to sell it hard to them. We're asking for the modern technology there. We did already cut back everything that we could. And you're in a building that lasted 125 years. Can we build something that can at least last 75 years now? That the town deserves and the people that actually live in it. This nickel dime stuff is stupid.
So I did. Thank you for bringing that up, David. We
Yeah.
did go over that. There was preparations made for the space of a bay, which rough numbers work out to 900,000. If we did take that off, and then we would be essentially the same size of the building that we are right now, which we already know is not sufficient, and that we also in that same space, if we had to change the construction documents to reflect that and the design, it's roughly about 10% of that savings would be a cost. So it would cost close to $100,000 to adjust the plans, because it's not just cutting a bay off, it's rerouting stuff, things like that, which Rick and Jennifer and Michael will be there to answer some of those questions that night if they come up. But essentially, you have to take out that 90,000 to 100,000 for the redesign to accommodate that savings of 900,000 for a bay, and then we're too small the day we open. And then the tower, the training tower, was essentially about $700,000, and same figure works with that. If we're going to take that out, that's a 10%, rough estimate to say about 70 grand to redesign to accommodate there, because the water lines and things like that were coming in through that space. So all of those things would have to be adjusted and accounted for. So it's not just hey, we're going to cut those two things off, save $1.5 million, and everybody walks away happy. The building will not be sufficient, and it will also cost us 10% of what that savings would be just to redesign it. And then it would also cost us time and more escalation just to prepare the documents and package for it to go to bid.
Right.
Can I add
Chief?
something?
Yeah, Chief, and then John Shudga.
Dave, that's a great question in regards to reducing the town to one ladder truck. Perfect example is just this past 2 weeks ago when we had the fire. Ladder 1, being the new truck, went out with a damage to an airline underneath it before that fire came in, and what was sitting out front but our tower truck. Thank God we had that. And obviously knowing firefighting as well as mostly everybody here does, that was kind of our saving grace, that everybody got out of the building by foot. That tower truck was positioned right in front, and again, this town really needs to, and I think as the message keeps pushing forward, let's not cut a truck or a bay. We need the apparatus that we have. We can't downsize what we currently have. So that's a great point, Dave. Thanks for bringing that up.
John Shudga, and then Michael Angevin.
There's been quite a few stations, brand new stations that opened up in the last 3-4 years. I wonder if we probably grabbed the information from the other towns of how many, what the cost of their stations were, square foot, just to do a comparison, with maybe 3 or 4 different stations, and just to show the council that, hey, these towns had started here and ended up there, and and this is the cost, and even though we're coming in at 32 million, we're still pretty low than what other towns have paid for theirs, from what I can see. So maybe someone could just do a little homework on that.
Yeah, I know it would be worthwhile with Northridge because they had to go back for more money because they had some issues with the topography on their site. So we could reach out to them. Michael?
Yeah.
Yes, John, great idea too, by the way. I also, and I'm pretty sure we have those hard numbers of all the money that we cut, that outbuilding, how much was that? That's out of the budget. When we went through every screw of that building, how much do we have a hard number, how much we took out of that budget already?
So the budget recap document that you have shows both of those right at the bottom. The first one is the value engineering and less the outbuilding, which is 1.9 million, and then the square foot reduction was 1.7 million, so a little under 4 million.
What about all the other things, Joe? I don't know off the top of my head. We cut out a lot of things. Instead of so many heated, the ramp, we cut that down. There were a lot of things that we cut out. Do you have a figure on that stuff?
In front of me, no.
Okay, but would you have that for the council's meeting, so we could actually say, look, we already went through this building, we cut out a lot of things that was a value of this amount?
So we do have those documents somewhere because we had the effects at the time, but correct me if I'm wrong, Jennifer, most of those things were thousands of dollars, not amounting to huge amounts of money.
I agree, but it still says that we already cut a lot out of that building.
The
Yes,
biggest
absolutely.
cut, of course, was right at the beginning when we went from 36,500 square feet, down to around 30. And then the
Correct.
second, because you're talking about the 2,000 square foot cut, that was after other cuts had already taken place.
All right, I just want to
Right.
put it out to the council that we already went through this
We can put
building.
a list together, Michael.
Okay, all right, very good.
Yeah, Joe.
Yes, Sandy.
The only thing else that comes to my mind, if they continue on the high horse or whatever you want to call it about saying cutting bays, Why would you want to cut a bay when you're only going to save this much money? But when you purchase a tower truck or even a ladder truck recently, okay, they didn't have to pay for it, but that's $1 million. Why wouldn't you want to protect your investment on equipment than having a bay cut?
Yep, and
You know?
we've discussed it with many people that have said, oh, we've heard you're getting rid of this or that, and
Yeah.
like I've said when they actually posed the question to us, even if there was going to be a change in the vehicle structure of the department, there will be something to take its place because we have regional assets, these trailers and things that are either outside or in other places, and even if we did change the structure, the vehicle structure, one of those other items would take its place because we don't have enough space. Even once this is built, there is not enough space to get everything under cover. So if there was a change in the apparatus ensemble for the department, it would be taken up by something else.
Thank you.
Can I interrupt, Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry. I had a connection issue there and I lost my connection. But you were talking about value engineering, and between Michael and Jennifer and I, we can put together a summary because I just listed the two largest items.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that you guys said when I wasn't here, there were a number of items that we reviewed to trim the numbers along the way. So I'm sure we have a VE list that we can have ready to talk about.
Okay, thank you. All right, anybody else have any questions on that? Okay, seeing none. The budget update would be next. That's kind of, in front of our face. That's what it is, 32,933,503. And I threw it, it's on there all the time, but I do not believe there are any invoices at this point, correct? The only other thing, Jennifer, just on the topic of invoices isn't it around this time of year when the invoice shows up for the website?
It might be February, but I
Okay,
wonder if I could find that.
all right, just to keep an
I will
eye
check
out for
into
that.
it. Yep.
All right. So if we have nothing there, do we want to schedule another meeting? Unfortunately, it's not going to be December 2nd. So do we want another meeting before the 16th, or do we want to just meet that night and prep?
I'm good meeting that night. I mean, you guys are gonna do the presentation.
Mr.
I think the
Manager,
meeting,
just a question to you.
yep.
I know it was suggested of possibly it being a joint meeting, or are we just going to make a presentation in the town council meeting? How would you suggest that be set? All right, I don't know if whether he's there, so I will follow up with him on that because I know the council chairman had initially asked for a joint meeting so that both parties would be in there all at once, but obviously we will be present anyway. So if nobody has anything else,
What was the question, Joe? I'm sorry, I missed it. What was the question?
I remember the council chairman had suggested of whether it be a joint meeting or do we just do a presentation under the town council's meeting.
Let me verify that and I'll get back to you, okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right. If nobody has anything else, I don't really see a need to schedule anything. So hopefully we will see everybody on the 16th.
Absolutely. Happy Thanksgiving to all.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanksgiving to everyone.